Okay, let's let YouTube catch up. And then when it does, hey everybody, what are you guys doing? A
Hey,
lot of people
hey.
in chat. There's Awen. How are you?
I am excellent. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm good. I've got my cherry shirt on today. I feel like a picnic.
It is so cute. You look like a picnic. You make me want to go outside and do a summer thing.
If I just had, I could not find my little, I have like a black and white polka dot hair thing. I couldn't find it to save my life. I was like, oh, I needed that today. But I had a good took a day off of YouTube yesterday. No news, no crime stuff. I was telling you when Nancy Grace could have been abducted by aliens. I would have known it yesterday. I would not have known it.
Oh,
So what is
goodness.
everybody in chat doing? My goodness, everybody is here. Hello, hello.
Yeah. So I had a really quiet day today, too. I was just really kind of tired today. And we have all the curtains drawn because it's like over 100 degrees out and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
So I laid in bed. I was reading that big criminal law book Dave got me and just kind of chilling all day. It was really nice.
I think we all needed a break. It's been a crazy past few weeks.
Yeah.
It's been kind of crazy around
Yep.
here. I have had a crazy week. I've got three teenage boys. One is going on a trip to Texas in a couple of weeks. Another one is going to camp at the same time, the same slot of time. And then another one just got his first job. So it has been like trip, document, getting everything ready for everybody's crazy. I have left this house, got up, put makeup on, got out of pajamas, and had to deal with Social Security office and the DMV and that kind of crap every single day this week.
Oh, my
Every
goodness.
single day. I'm done. I'm done. I'm legally blind. I cannot drive. I thought I was done with the DMV. I thought I was done. Apparently not.
Mm,
It
that does
was.
not sound like fun.
I told them this is the last time I'm getting this crap. After that, it's yours. It's all
Yep.
yours. Y'all lose them? No, I'm done. Moment is
Welcome
done.
to adulthood. Get your
Yeah,
own stuff.
get your own stuff. That is it. That is it.
Definitely.
My goodness.
So we did
We have
have
so many people here. Yay. Good.
we had
Go ahead.
one actual tiny bit of true crime news for Saturday. We don't to get too much news, but we had the jury come back in the Joseph Daniels trial today.
Yep. That is in Middle Tennessee. It's semi local to me. It's a couple hours away over in Dixon County, Tennessee. It happened back in 2018. Law and Crime has been covering it. It's been about a week, I guess. It's been on TV. Anyway, a guy ended up murdering his 5-year-old autistic son, also named Joe Daniels, but they call him Joe Clyde Daniels. And you talk about a crazy case. There's zero evidence. There is absolutely no physical evidence. Everything is circumstantial. However, he's confessed twice and failed a polygraph test. But everything that he's confessed to has come back negative. There's no blood. They have no body. He took them to two different locations and the body has never shown up. No cell phone records, nothing. No DNA in a car to move him. I mean, it's absolutely crazy.
Yep. I thought that was the weirdest thing because in
Mhm.
his so-called confessions, he said, well, I beat him and there was blood running down his face. They found zero blood in the home. None. And I put his body in the car. No forensics in the trunk of the car. That body was never. And like, what is going on? What are you confessing to? Because clearly you're not telling us the truth. It was a really bizarre case. And the jury came back with not guilty on first-degree murder, probably because of that circumstantial nature, but they did find him guilty of second-degree murder. So
Yeah.
now we go on to sentencing.
I definitely think he did it. I mean, I was watching
Yep.
it live every day. I definitely think he did it, but how he did it, I don't know. There's 8 people in the house. Like the family dynamic is crazy. It's a grandma and grandpa, grandma's sister, Aunt Joyce. All three of those adults live there. Joe Daniels, the middle Joe. So it's Big Joe, regular Joe, and Little Joe. There's 3 Joes in the house. The mom's So that's 5 adults and there's 3 children. So there's 8 people in that house. Now, Big Joe and Belle, Grandma and Grandpa, were not there the night that it happened, whatever
Right.
ended up happening. But still, there's 6 people in that house on the night that he died, disappeared.
Yep.
It's just so, it was such a weird thing. Um, I'm kind of, oh, they couldn't fit a jury because Dixon County is about as big as a postage stamp, and everybody in the town probably testified in this case or was sitting in the courtroom. It was probably the whole town. So instead of moving the actual trial, they went and seated a jury from Chattanooga, which is way down, almost on the border of Georgia, down in East Tennessee. So they got the jury in Chattanooga and they sequestered them in Dixon County. They actually brought the jury in instead of taking the court case to Chattanooga, which I thought was interesting. I don't know that I've ever heard of that happening. Have you?
No, I haven't, but I think that was obviously the right thing to do, being how tiny that location was.
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
Yep. Algo brings up. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Algo brings up a really great point in chat. He said, don't confessions have to be backed up by other evidence to corroborate the confession? And yeah, that was the big argument before this went to trial, was the defense was saying, hey, none of his confessions add up to any of the evidence. So they're not real confessions. And they really argued that. And the judge was like, yeah, nah, we're letting it in. So they were able to argue that throughout the course of the trial to talk about his different stories and how there was actually no evidence to support anything he said, but everything else, all the circumstantial evidence, which is evidence, certainly painted a picture of guilt. So I think the jury got it right, although it's I can see appeals in this case coming.
I was really surprised that this case they didn't give him a plea deal.
Mm-hmm.
This is like the perfect case to have given somebody a plea deal, because this could have really been an OJ kind of case. I mean, they could have come back and said no.
Yep. If he had a really good defense attorney, right, it probably would have ended differently. So yeah.
Oh, that defense attorney. You guys, if y'all did not watch this, what was it, Thursday?
I think it was Thursday's testimony.
Okay, I've been watching this, and I was debating putting it together and cutting all the BS sidebars and the breaks and seeing how much of a case it was and uploading it that way so you could watch the trial without all the pauses and stuff. You guys, Thursday I changed my mind. So one of the witnesses they brought in was testifying that she saw Joe at a certain time at night out on the bridge in town over water. And she testified to what he had on, and it was consistent with what he was wearing at the time and that kind of thing. Well, the defense attorney was really trying to impeach her, and all she did was testify that she saw the guy, It could be a Julie Rowe, somebody that just wanted to be part of the case. I don't know. Who knows? It's a little bitty town. Everybody knows everybody. And so she said she saw him, blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, in your testimony, because this was, 2.5 years ago that actually happened, you said that he didn't see you. But now you're testifying that you saw his face. And obviously you can see somebody's face without them looking at you. That's not that much of a stretch, but he was trying to. And he said, Your Honor, I would like to question the witness outside the presence of the jury. And I was like, this could be interesting. And the judge asked the jury to step across the hall. And he said, you're up here just flat out lying. You didn't see him. You weren't out there, this, that, and the other. And she said, absolutely not. Of course I saw him. I don't have any reason to lie. And he said, didn't you steal so-and-so's necklace that you worked with? And she's like, no, I found it and returned it to them. And I kept thinking, where's this going? Like, it didn't make sense. Well, did you give the police your cell phone? And I thought, are they going to say she really wasn't at the bridge? That GPS thing. Maybe she couldn't have seen him. Maybe she was at home. And she said, I don't remember if I gave him my phone or not. I might have. Well, did you have porn on your phone? And she's like, not that I'm aware of. But you guys, The next sentence, I about killed over. And I can't even say it because it'll probably get my channel flagged. So the next question was, isn't it true that there's a video on your cell phone that involves a hot girl and a horse.com? I about died right there. He had not so much as got the end of that sentence out of his mouth. The judge literally sat up in his chair 6 inches. I mean, like, jumped up and said, "What in the world are you trying to pull in my courtroom? What does that have to do with anything? Judge, there's a case on the record that you can impeach him. You can ask him about blah, 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 about moral fortitude." And he said, "I do not believe there is a case on the record in Tennessee that has anything to do with what you were trying to pull." And so he's like, "Well, can I finish asking her my questions or do I need to show you the case?" And he was like, "You can finish asking the questions." So he repeated it, but he said the name of the website, the title of the video. And she was like, "I don't think that's on my phone." And I'm like, "Woman, you are not going to be able to be shopping at the Piggly Wiggly for a few months now because everybody, this was televised. This was on the thing." And so at the end of it, the judge is like, "Absolutely not. You cannot ask her these questions in front of the jury. Don't even try it." And he really jumped all over him. He said, "I'm not even going to look at the case. I do not believe there's a case." And then all of a sudden, you hear this bonehead prosecutor go, "Judge, I'd really like to see the case."
Right?
Like, shut up, you're winning, Don't argue when you're winning. But how about died right there? I mean, just died. And if you had been watching it live on Law and Crime, they have the chat room scrolling. And it was like, I hate this defense attorney. Why is he trying to impeach this poor woman? And it just kind of went silent for about 5 seconds.
Yep.
And then it was, "Oh my God, did that just happen? What? And then somebody was like, "What was the name of that website again?"
Yep.
I mean, it was really bananas. And all of a sudden you see, chat has been slowed.
Yeah.
And you're like, I sent it to Paul. I sent it to Awen. I put it in mod chat. And I'm like, y'all need to watch this now because I guarantee you it's going to be edited out.
Yep.
Before the night is over. I just only in Tennessee will you get, do you have porn on your phone and does it involve a horse when you're talking about the murder of an autistic 5-year-old child?
Yep.
By a witness that might have seen you on a bridge after you threw him over. Like, only in Tennessee, people.
Yeah.
Only in Tennessee.
We do get a lot of jaw-dropping moments like that in trials, but we've never seen that one before. That was a curveball.
That was the first.
Mm-hmm.
That was that. But that judge, what in the? I mean, he caught himself because he was going to cut. What in the world are you trying to pull in my courtroom? But that, that just goes back. I thought the defense attorney was awful. There were some times that I think to be honest, when I opened it, I tried not to do any research into the background of the case. I just wanted to see the trial. And his opening statement was not bad. It made me question it. I thought he had a really good opening statement. But it just went downhill after that.
I knew a little bit about the case before I started watching the trial. But when I watched the opening, I was like, oh, he raises some really good points. Right. Well, this should get interesting. But through the course of the trial, I'm like, nah, dude, just stop. It went all downhill from the openings, 100%.
Yeah. So. It was terrible. One of the witnesses was actually another one of the kids who was 11 at the time or 13. Mm-hmm. No, he's 13 now. And they actually had him come in and testify, which was really hard to watch. If you watch trials, that's probably the worst thing to see is a child have to be brought in to something like this.
Yep.
That defense attorney was not nice to that little boy.
No.
It was not nice. And it reminded me of the Rosenbaum trial. When they brought Millie in, Layla's older sister, Millie.
Yep.
The Mullinator got a hold of her. I just wanted to throttle her. I hate that. I hate seeing kids have to testify in big cases like that. It's just so heartbreaking because they don't want to. But
It was a really interesting trial to watch as far as the dynamics between the state and state and the defense and the judge and all the legal wrangling that happened. So it's interesting. If you want to watch it, it is up on Law and Crime. You can go check it out. And knowing that now he has been convicted of second-degree murder as well as some other charges. He was found not guilty of first degree, but it's still something. So I'm happy with that verdict. And it was a good trial. But something else came up today, Jess, that I thought you might want to talk about.
I don't know.
In the Cash Gurnan case.
Oh, yeah.
The story about Darian. Now, there's some people apparently online who are saying that Darian didn't do it.
That he was set up. You guys.
Grief.
Why? I mean, I am a conspiracy nut through and through. I will listen to anybody's conspiracy. I don't believe them all. I'm not saying that. I love them. I love a good conspiracy. You want to tell me there's people in a back room with black hoods planning stuff out? I'll listen to it all day. Don't care. You want to try to convince me that the moon landing didn't happen? Yeah, I'll listen to it. Sure. Whatever. Whatever. Aliens took your grandma last week. Whatever. I'll listen to it. Why would anybody kill a toddler, a 4-year-old? To blame on some random 18-year-old kid. I mean, why would you do that?
Yeah.
So people have asked me. There was somebody that asked this week, "Oh, I think he's been framed? Have you seen this video?" And I said, "Well, have you seen the probable cause affidavit? He tried to kidnap another 2-year-old girl back in February, and they have pictures and video of him all over town." Breaking into people's stuff, lurking around, being crazy. I mean, he's on video, for crying out loud.
Yep. And today the police released more information, documents showing that Cash Gurnan's blood was found on Darian's hoodie, shoes, and sunglasses. That blood did test positive as Cash's. So there's no question in my mind if Darian did this. And hopefully this new report will help put those rumors to bed, because that is not going to help the case at all. So
no. And he's finally been charged with the murder. I'm not sure why it took this long.
Yeah.
But he was just now charged with the murder, which has kind of probably helped fuel the crazy for a little while. Well, if he did it, why didn't they charge him yet? We know that goes with the Vallow case. If they've got all this evidence, where are the charges? So he has now officially been charged.
Right. With capital murder. So good.
Capital murder. It's Texas. If he doesn't have a good mental health excuse, which I'm expecting to see, to be quite honest, there is definitely something off about him, in my opinion. I'm really expecting to see some kind of mental health record or treatment or whatever.
Yep.
When that case goes forward. Another one that I'm expecting to see, I think they haven't released a ton of information since she's been arrested, but the Megan, what's her last name?
Firmuska.
With the Heidi Broussard case. If she was pregnant, it would not, and lost a baby, it wouldn't surprise me to see postpartum psychosis pop up on hers. The way everything happened with Heidi, I think there's something wrong there. I don't think we're going to see a regular murder trial with her. I'll be surprised, won't you?
Yeah, although I really want to see him, because I don't see her actions as being strictly the result of that. I'm sure that may have played a part of it,
Maybe.
But what she did to Heidi and leaving the body in her car in her driveway while she's sitting outside talking to the Texas Ranger, the car is right there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, good grief, just no, I want to see her go through a full trial. I'm not sure it will, because I don't think she's quite all there, to be honest.
I don't either. And probably the weirdest thing to listen to was Tim Miller speak about her. Because Texas EquiSearch was called in. And she contacted Tim Miller, which is so crazy. And he's like, I heard the baby cry while I was talking to her. And she was telling me that she had just had a baby too, and how great it was that her and Heidi were new moms at the same time. And that was crazy right there. That was crazy.
That's going to haunt him. That's going to haunt him for a while. But and speaking of Tim Miller, Odd that you brought him up. I watched 2020 last night. Did any of you see that?
I missed it, but
It's worth watching. Maybe we'll do a watch party in Discord. It was really
okay.
good. It's about the Vanessa Guillen case. And now certainly we followed that case. We know what happened. But they really put it in an excellent timeline. I like the way they framed it. Tim Miller was in there a lot, talking about what he did. He met with the family at the end. It was very emotional and very powerful. But they left something out, which I thought was really weird. They talked about how her body was disposed of and how they found it and all of that. Not once, unless I fell asleep, which I suppose is possible, did they mention how or where she was actually killed. And I thought that was probably coming from the Army. As in, do not talk about that happening on our
Fort
base.
Hood's got problems.
Yep.
Fort Hood's got major problems. There's a whole lot of missing people. Not to derail it, but a lot of people don't know that Israel Keys was in the Army for a long time. He was actually stationed at Fort Hood.
Yep.
Kind of wonder if some of those disappearances are his, because he supposedly says he wasn't murdering back then. But I mean, you're talking about a serial killer.
Right.
Aren't they going to tell you the truth? But yeah. I remember I was so upset when that case happened. Getting back to Vanessa. And you know, Congress promised her mom a congressional hearing over her case by the way it was handled with the military. And I want to know why she hasn't had it.
Well, I'm not sure that's off the books yet. They were talking about that in the episode last night, and they say they may be expected this summer. So it's possible it's still coming. So, I hope it does.
Somebody deserves one. She deserves one.
And Flame Lily says Fort Worth has a bad reputation. We're talking about Fort Hood, which is a military base. Fort Worth is a city, and it's a good city. So let's just clear that up. I live in Fort Worth, and it's not a bad place.
Fort Hood is the biggest military base in the U.S.
Yes, it is.
It is humongous. It has been targeted so many times to be shut down. It's always on the list of possible. And they have a lot of problems down there.
Yeah. And remember, in the course of searching for Vanessa, they found the remains of another Fort Hood soldier who had been missing for 2 years. But the only reason they even found his remains because they were actually looking for Vanessa. So, that base has some issues, serious issues. So.
Well, just the fact that I think what made me the maddest was the man that killed her spoke to her family, welcomed them on the base, and said they were looking into her murder. That's some backbone, because I can't use the other word.
Yep.
That is something else. To look at somebody's family when you know that you've murdered their daughter, sister, and all that. And why he wasn't arrested, I don't know. But they were like, we're going to keep you on base. You're not allowed to leave your quarters. And then he got out.
He did. He just took off.
He got out.
Yep.
You do not walk off a military base without going through a security gate. There is no way off base without a security checkpoint. If they wanted him stuck in quarters, they should have put him in the brig. They should have. I know Fort Hood has one. I don't understand how he was allowed to do that. And ultimately, when the police caught up with him, he killed himself.
Yep.
Right there on the side of the road. Or I guess it was in a parking lot at that point.
Yeah.
And so there's no justice in that.
No, there isn't. That's
not what Vanessa deserved or her family deserves, for him to get the coward way out. And now all it is now is going to be whatever the girlfriend confesses to or gets hit with.
Yep. She's still in jail.
She's a character. The text messages those two sent back, she's a character and a half.
Yep. So, but that's what's going on with that case. They did name a gate to the base after her, the Vanessa Guillen gate, which is nice, but, that doesn't mean much in the big scheme of things. It's like, So, but the documentary or the 2020 episode did shine a light on a lot of the problems there, a lot of the alleged cover-ups and mistakes that were made by the military. So I thought it was pretty fair, as far as you can go on the attack against the military in a documentary on TV. But they were pretty fair about it. But maybe we'll do a watch party tomorrow afternoon in Discord because it was really good. It was worth watching.
I'd like to watch that.
Yeah.
Until they change the way that you report sexual assaults and sexual harassments and stuff in the military, you're going to keep seeing this problem, unfortunately, because you're reporting. And like, if you're being harassed at work, it's somebody in your chain of command. People below you aren't harassing you. And then if you have to go report them to the people in the same chain of command, it's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's a problem.
Yep.
That's just a nightmare.
Kay Ellis, are you talking about the Sam Olsen case? No. What's Sam in Dallas?
Sam Olsen is the little boy that it's almost like Gannon.
Was that out of Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you're talking about. She said, I would like to know about the case with Sam in Dallas, wondering why no one but Teresa has only been charged with anything and no one at all for murder. So yeah, that's a case we got to dig into this week because that's probably going to be big.
I was going to cover it on my channel, but a lot of like the bigger channels have picked it up, and I get why. I don't know that I will cover it much because at this point I don't think CPS was involved in that case, and that's kind of my thing. But stepmom apparently took Sam and killed him, allegedly, and hid him in a tote. And then I guess she drove around with him for a few weeks or put him in a storage building for a little. He's been dead for a little bit. And then they ended up finding him in her hotel room.
Yeah.
It's an absolute nightmare. I from what I can tell, like I haven't done a deep dive, they don't think his dad had anything to do with it. This is strictly a crazy stepmom kind of thing.
Girlfriend. Yeah, girlfriend. I don't think they're actually married.
Yeah, you're right. I do think it was a girlfriend. But I think we're looking at another Gannon kind of situation with that.
Yeah, we'll look into that this week. One of us will cover it, or we'll talk about it here again on Hearsay. It is a big case. It's another tragic, heartbreaking case. Mm-hmm. And, oh, goodness, it's probably going to be big. It probably is. I have a feeling that case is going to get some attention. Yeah, for good reason.
It's got a lot of attention right now. I think it will. I think it's going to be a big one. And that's just crazy,
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
So the only other news that I have for you tonight is the mass shooting out of Austin last night. I woke up to this news. 13 people were shot on 6th Street in Austin, which is a big bar hoppy kind of street, very active late at night. And apparently, from what I can tell so far, it was a fight between bikers and gang people. That's what all the witnesses are saying, but who knows? But 13 people were shot. And none of them have died so far, last I checked. So they're all expected to survive their injuries, which is amazing. But 13 people. It's like, when is this going to stop? It's getting really close to home now. And every day, there's another one of these stories every single day somewhere. And multiple a day sometimes. So that was a surprise this morning to wake up and see that news.
That's absolutely crazy. Yeah, I completely skipped news yesterday. And then today, as I was getting ready for this, I opened up the news things that I always check on. There were 3 child abuse stories on the front page. On the front page just today in 24 hours, brand new ones. And I'm like, are you kidding me? People are losing it. I read the story to Awen. There's a mom in Brooklyn that threw her 4-week-old baby and her toddler, I think they said it was 1, out a 2nd-story window and then jumped out after them and then tried to hurt them further. All 3 of them were naked. Thank God it was like a townhouse. The neighbor heard the thud and came outside to see what was going on. And saw her hurting the kids and like jumped the fence and took the kids away from her and held her in place until the police and the ambulance got there. But my goodness, people, what is going on? The the witness, the neighbor, made the statement that when he held her down and took the kid away from her, he says that she said something to the effect of, "Thank you for taking care of them. I'm so tired of being alone." And
That's oh man. I mean, what do you say? There's no words to that. It's just thank goodness the neighbor was there. Thank goodness the kids are at least not deceased, and hopefully they'll pull through the injuries. But
the baby's in
what the heck is
really
going on?
rough shape.
Mm-hmm.
He was only 4 weeks old, so he's in
Yeah.
critical condition. But the toddler and her are in the hospital, and they don't say they're life-threatening injuries. So there's that. But we've got to get to a place where people's mental health isn't as stigmatized as it is.
Right.
And we've got to get to the place as moms where you don't feel crazy asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
Not happen to be that perfect mom on social media who's, cooking organic 3 meals a day, vacuuming the house in high heels, and, Miss Perfect. The house is clean, the dog is groomed, you feed your husband well, everybody's happy, your kids are all straight A students and play 17 sports apiece. We've got to get to where that's not a thing because it's not normal. And I would say anybody that says that they're pulling it off are lying to you in some way, shape, or form, or they have help. We've got to get to a place where we can say, listen, I need help. I'm not doing so well.
Mm-hmm.
Or where we're taking care of ourselves better. Some of it's just as simple as that. I think we as moms, you can't give out of an empty well. You've got to be able to fill yourself back up so that you can take care of people around you.
Yep.
We've been talking about that a lot lately. We talked about that on Toxic Bliss Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Just kind of self care and taking care of yourself and taking a break and knowing when to say I've had enough. I need to step back a second. It's just so it's heartbreaking when you see it go to that extreme. You know, that extreme where you are almost taking your kids out of the world because it's overwhelming.
Yep. Another story that Kalis brought up in chat, and I saw this the other day. A 19-year-old girl videotaped herself abusing her 5-week-old and sent it to the father. Like,
Yep.
look what I'm doing to your kid, and
Yep.
taunting him with it. And it's like, what is going on? Every day we're hearing 3 or 4 cases like this.
I
And
did
I don't ever
video.
remember hearing this many before, ever.
No, it's every day. I mean, this year has been crazy. The shootings are outrageous. Like it seems like every day we're hearing about another public shooting, and
Yep.
now it's this. It's horrific child abuse, and it's by their own parents. Like it's an absolute nightmare. I did that video talking about that case Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't remember which now. I think it was Tuesday. When that came in, I was so mad. I read it to you first, and that's probably a
That's right.
conversation we should have recorded. I said, "Oh, get this!" I got down to the bottom of it, and I said, "She has not even been charged with attempted murder. She's been charged with child abuse with no major bodily injury, and she was physically banging a 5-week-old baby's head on the floor."
Yep.
And they gave her bond.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Yeah,
in
I remember
God's
talking about that.
name? Why
How?
would you give that bond? You think she's safe?
Nope.
I can't even. It's a wonder that story hasn't ended in absolute tragedy. At least the ex-boyfriend or whoever he is to her, the baby's father, had enough sense to take the text messages, not respond to her, and call the police
Right.
immediately. and they tracked her down and took her. She had a 1 year old and now a 5 week old. The 1 year old wasn't his, but the 5 week old was. And apparently the 1 year old is with family. I'm not sure if that's even a good thing at that point, but a 5 week old baby. The things that she said were horrific.
Yep.
The video is hard to watch. I put it on 18 and up because I wouldn't want. I wanted you to have to think about clicking it. You know what I mean?
Right.
The things I left out of that are already in the news are horrific. The things that she was doing and what she was sending him videos of are horrific. I want to know what judge that was. What judge gets a child abuse case like that and says, yep, she deserves bond?
Mm-hmm.
Because the only reason that baby is not dead is because they found her before she killed it. I mean,
Yep.
there's no way that baby would have made it probably another 24 hours.
Nope.
I would say 24 hours would be a very conservative guess on that. And I'll be surprised if the baby is okay. I don't know how you throw
No,
a
I don't
5 week
either.
old around and do things like that and be okay. I don't.
Goodness.
Why? Why? When there's so many people out there that want babies so badly, you know,
Yep.
so badly. And at 5 weeks old, she still could have turned that baby in at the fire department, at the hospital, at a police station, no questions asked. That's what kills you, you know, when you have hit that point. You're like, why? Why does it have to go to that extreme, you know?
Yep. Yep. So, yeah, we have a big problem right now with the outbreak of cases like this. And covering them is hard because we don't want to sit here and talk and read about this stuff all day and research it because it's terrible. It's horrible and heartbreaking. But it's like, I feel like we need to shine a light on this. We need to make it a topic. We need to be like, hey, this is happening. Let's wake up. Check on your neighbors. Check on your friends. Check on your family members. Touch base with people. And if somebody's struggling, step in.
Yeah.
You know, before we get more cases like this. It's just awful. Like, didn't that girl have parents that she could say, hey, I'm really stressed? Or a neighbor that said, oh, she doesn't look so good? Or anybody to have intervened and say, hey, let me help you a little bit, you know, that maybe could have helped. So, but yeah, like they said in chat, with all the mandated reporters and COVID lockdowns and schools closed and all of this stuff and CPS not doing home visits, a lot of stuff like this is falling through the cracks. So,
yeah, I'd like to see us go back to the days where you saw more mentorship. You know, in our grandparents' day, the community really rallied around people, you know?
yeah.
You knew when your neighbors had a new baby or had just moved into town or whatever, and people came and introduced themselves. They brought food, you know, whatever. We're at that point now, and I'm guilty of it too. When somebody has a baby, is there anything I can do for you? We as women want to say, oh no, we got it, we're fine. You know, maybe don't say that. Maybe just make dinner. And if you're not a cook and you know that's not your thing, go buy a gift card or a gift certificate to a restaurant. You know, you can use those any dang time. Call Grubhub. I don't know.
Yeah.
Come clean the house. I'm telling you right now, I've got 3 teenage boys. I don't even have a newborn. If you came to my house and offered to give me a nap and clean my house and feed them for dinner, I might go on vacation. You might want to pack a bag.
Yeah.
Because you're staying. You are staying. No way around it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's really where we are. We're not seeing people community-wise anymore. I think social media has really taken that out in a big way. We think that we're connected to people, but it's so artificial. And I'm the same way. I'm on Facebook so that I can keep up with my husband's side of the family because they're all on the West Coast and we don't talk to them hardly ever. So I know what's going on. But do you know how many people I found that have had babies because they posted on Facebook? We didn't know
Right.
they were pregnant.
Yep.
And, you know, you keep up with people you went to high school. Oh, you keep up with the local gossip and you're like, oh, I know everything that's going on. But you haven't actually spoken to these people in 5 years.
Right.
So it's a very superficial, oh, yeah, I've got plenty of friends. I've got 400 people on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
The
And if you
demon.
notice on Facebook, everyone has the perfect life, the
Yeah,
perfect relationship, the perfect children, the perfect house, the perfect everything. Nobody goes on and says, "Man, I am really struggling today.
yeah,
Can someone help?" Nobody does that because it's a contest on social media. You have to present yourself a certain way. So maybe we need less internet, more real human interaction as a good first step to
yeah.
helping. Hmm.
You should. I mean, you should just reach out to people. Make a phone call. If you can't see people face to face, make it a point to visit. To talk to some 3 people a day. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be the same 3 people. Call and check on Aunt so and so and your friend from church or whatever. Physically talk to some people. Start checking in. Hey, are you okay? What are you doing? It doesn't have to be, oh, I'll see them when they have a birthday party, or
Yep.
I'll see them at church on Sunday, or whatever. Because, a lot of that is so you're going through the motions. It's not, you know what I mean? I don't know what the word is I'm looking for. It's not spontaneous. You're not actually finding out, are they okay? What's going on in their life? Whatever kind of deal. Which kind of leads me into, do you want to talk about the other channel stuff?
Our new idea thing that we're going to
Yep.
start. I don't know. We might want to wait till we get it
Okay.
solidified because we can do like a formal launch, which will be really exciting with lots of hype. But we have a new project in the works. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
A break from doom and gloom all the
Yep.
time.
It's not true crime related.
A little bit because we will maybe
Well,
mention
we'll
cases that
probably
come up, but
mention
we
some
can't
new
help
stuff.
ourselves.
But yeah, it's not going to be another true crime channel. It's going to be a little more fun, upbeat.
Fun, cool stuff.
Yep. Which
Yeah.
brings me back to my Patreon that I did not get done this week again, even though I promised I would. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that, but I am. I just don't know. I feel weird about the whole money thing, and then I
Yep.
don't know what you guys want to see. I'm kind of like, I'm surprised people watch my channel most of the time. So I can't imagine like what beyond that you want to see, I guess. I don't know. If y'all have ideas, send them my way.
Well, if anyone wants Jess's Patreon to go live, which I do, let's leave her some comments and let her know what kind of stuff she can do on Patreon. Like on
Yeah.
my Patreon, I tend to focus on the toxic bliss stuff. We do our narcissism lives, that kind of thing. I keep that a little bit separate because now, the Valor case has taken over my life. So I keep that mostly on Patreon. And it's I like that because it makes it more intimate. We can have really better discussions. People aren't worried about putting stuff in chat that's going to be all over YouTube,
Yeah.
so I like doing that. It's a more intimate way to have some pretty deep talks.
I'm thinking about maybe talking more about chronic illness because I have a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not really something I want to put out like major on YouTube for every, you know what I mean? It's
Right.
kind of weird. Um, and I don't want it to be I want it to be a good community because we both know how that can go. You've seen plenty of chronic illness boards and forums and things like that can go haywire real quick. It becomes,
Mm-hmm.
my illness is worse than yours. Oh, you
Right.
take that much medicine, I'll raise you too. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
Just how I deal with certain things and that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be fun. But I'm gonna do a giveaway on my Patreon whenever we get the first 20 Patreon things. I am gonna make it go live tomorrow. I'll make that a
Yay.
priority because that way it'll be a Sunday and blah blah blah. But I'm gonna start doing Patreon only giveaways and stuff like that. So that will be fun. Fun.
Excellent.
There was another case I was going to talk about. Oh, CJ, Caleb Wiseman. There's a report that came out. There's nothing going on in that case for some reason. It's not moving. I'm really surprised we didn't see the mom arrested for something at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really, really strange, but it hasn't. But now the reports are coming out that whenever he took the police to the body, I guess the girlfriend was there too.
Mm-hmm.
He took him to the body and he said, I'm sorry to her. And he looked at the police and said, just shoot me. Please just shoot me.
Goodness.
I just, What do you do with that?
Put him in jail. You know, that's all they can do. But at least he is in jail.
Yeah. But apparently that's what Amari said too. No, Amari. The Amari Nicholson case.
Yeah.
Why can't I think of his name off the top of my head? I can see him plain as day.
Yeah.
Amari's mom, Taylor's boyfriend. His charges got upgraded to attempted murder, where he took the gun away from the police in the interrogation room. So that man, if convicted, will be going nowhere.
Good.
Nowhere. There's no way. He's got 4 attempted murder charges, and then first-degree murder and everything else with Amari. That case is so sad. So sad to me.
Yeah.
Because there were so many people around that shouldn't have happened to him, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's what happens with all the cases that I talk about. There's always so many people that could have stopped it. Like, it didn't have to go that far, you know? It's just sad. So sad. All these babies. My chat is not moving on my thing. Oh, because I didn't click that. There we go. Now I'm like, everybody left. That was it. I said Patreon and poof.
Yeah. So what's coming up this week that we're anticipating? Are there any hearings in any of these cases that you know of coming up? I know we're not going to hear from Letitia for a while.
Letitia's September. Amari's case is August. We're not going to see anything there until August. I have no idea about Caleb Winston. I'm going to have to go see if I can track down a court date on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then, who else? Anthony Tott, if anybody followed that, where he killed his whole family down in Celebration, Florida in the Disney community. He's supposed to be going to trial in September. What have you got on your Vallow case? When's our next date there?
The next court date isn't until the end of June for the status conference for Chad. I do expect a flurry of motions happening soon. Pryor just filed to vacate the change of venue to reset the date, because obviously now we have all these new charges that they have to deal with. That's going to be happening at some point. We have the motion for cause for Melanie Gibb to show why she didn't respond to the subpoena and possibly be held in contempt of court. That'll be interesting. I'm not sure if the judge is going to hold a hearing on that, because technically there's a stay in the case. And certainly when Rob Wood filed the pro hac vice to bring Rachel Smith on, Mark Means argued very vehemently that they should not hear that because there's a stay in the case. Nothing can happen. But now he's filing for this motion. I'm like, but you yourself said nothing can happen because there's a stay in the case, but now you want this hearing. So I'm not sure what the judge is going to do with that, but we'll wait and see. We should hear something pretty soon, but that just may have to wait until they deal with Lori's stuff.
But since it has to do with Chad, can it go forward, or will it just until they sever it, it just stops?
Lori's stuff should stop. Remember that it's not like their cases are joined, their trials were joined. So Chad's can proceed. But Mark Means filing for the motion against Lori or against Melanie for his subpoena, that's strictly for Lori's case. So
that's
technically,
that.
we shouldn't be having any hearings. So we'll see what Judge Boyce says about that. He may come back and be like, nah, dude. But he has been pretty generous with the defense. So, it's possible he'll say, okay, we'll do it. We just got to wait and see.
I remember when we talked about it, when you said she got subpoenaed, I said, that girl is going to stick her head in the sand and act like nothing's happening.
Yeah.
I said, you watch. She won't get a lawyer. She's going to think this is just going to go away if she ignores it.
When you clicked on chat, did you accidentally unmod Amanda?
Hell, I don't know. Maybe. Well, it would have been on accident if I did. I wondered why it didn't move.
Yeah, she just typed it. Now she's not a mod. I was like, wait a minute.
Oh, wait.
How did that happen? You broke Amanda. Oh, man.
Oh, I guess I did. Sorry. We play wrench merry-go-round. You just never know. Man. You get somebody that's legally blind with an iPad, you're in trouble.
Makes it more
interesting. Somebody else
interesting.
will be a moderator in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll go watch out if you're still in here.
Yeah.
You'll be a mod before it's over with. So
Oh,
what
goodness.
else is? So we've got that in your case, and that's really all that's happening there. That's pretty much done with. It's been such a crazy 2 weeks. I feel like I'm forgetting a lot of major stuff, but it's just been crazy around here.
Yep. My
We both.
plan, now that it's finally stopped raining in Texas and we're warming up, is to hit the pool this week. I'm hoping there won't be a lot of news because I just want to go hang out in my pool. I really, really do.
I want to go hang out in your pool.
Well, come hang out in my pool. It'll be fun.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
It would be a
So-
long drive to go hang out in your pool, though.
Yep. But this week, the only thing I have scheduled so far is our narcissism discussion on Thursday. We're going to wrap up our positivity challenge week, which I am struggling with. I don't know about you.
I've had a really easy one, but I've ignored YouTube for 24 hours.
There you go.
Let me answer some comments and get back to you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm kidding. My comments haven't been very crazy.
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I think I fixed Amanda. Yeah, there it went.
All better.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
It's going to be good. I heard from Paul this week, barely. That man is so busy. I've seen a couple of people ask, where's Paul? Did you guys have a falling out? No.
Oh, no.
No. If you haven't been around a long time, or maybe if you have, you just might not have noticed it. But when summertime hits, Paul gets a little scarce because he enjoys his RV. They like to plan to travel, and he's been working crazy, and he's got his channel going. And shoot, he hasn't even had a live chat. He's been so busy lately. But no, nothing's going on between me and Paul, or Awen and Paul, or me and Awen and Paul. And,
yeah, Paul finally got the septic tank system fixed on the RV. For the last year, we usually talk on Sundays a lot. And every Sunday, and I'm talking to him, he's like, all right, I got to go do the septic tank. Or, he goes, I got to go get covered in poop. I hate my life. It's finally fixed. So he's been really busy fixing that. They're getting the RV all shipped up so they can go do some traveling. And he, that guy works like so many hours a week. So he's just been super busy. But he's fine. Paul is fine.
He did a video the other day. I told him, I said, we miss you. Blink twice. If Roscoe or Matt have you held hostage, we need to send him. He's so funny. I sent him that video of that crazy guy talking about the trial.
Mm-hmm.
The horse stuff on the phone. I'm like, y'all, you ain't even gonna believe this. Can you imagine?
Yep.
And he was like, what in the world did I just watch? I said, welcome to Tennessee, Paul. Welcome to Tennessee.
Well, if you want a fun topic that we can do before we go, Stephanie Ceresi asked, what do you two think of the aliens thing? And I love to talk about this. What do you think of the aliens thing, Jess?
I think people are getting their panties in a wad over something that's not going to. I think people are expecting like major disclosure, and I think you're going to get major military redaction. Anything I know about the government and the military, I don't care what they're going to unclassify, it will still be redacted like all get out. Mm-hmm. I don't think people are going to get the disclosure that they think they're going to get. I don't know what to think about it. I'm not a science person. I know. I'm going to get this out of my mouth before you tell me dash my dreams. I think there's a possibility. I mean, there's so much stuff out there that we don't know. Shoot, we don't even know what's in the bottom of our oceans, for crying out loud. I mean, if you want to talk about some amazing stuff, the fact that we don't even know what's at the very bottom of our ocean is pretty amazing. To think that we think we have a handle on what all could be out there is nuts. I'm open to the possibility. I've never seen anything. When I drove through New Mexico and Arizona, I didn't look up because I didn't want to be abducted when we were driving cross country. We had the Waze navigator. So whenever my husband got out of the military, we drove from Atlantic Beach, North Carolina, to the Oregon coast. cross country with 3 kids and a bird in the car, cross country. So, and then when we moved back a year later, because Oregon couldn't handle me, we drove from Oregon all the way back to Louisville, Kentucky, and then eventually Tennessee. But when we drove, we just hit Interstate 40 west in North Carolina and drove it all the way over to New Mexico and Arizona, and we hit Four Corners and the Grand Canyon and all that in one trip. And I'm telling you, there were days where we drove through that part of the world, and there's nothing out there. But we had the Waze Navigator thing on, it looks like a video game. You get points for driving ever so long, so it's like a game to my husband, so he leaves it on his trips to Walmart so he can rack up points. I ask him what he does with the points. Not a clue. But they give him points, so he opens it and it goes. And I can remember us driving through New Mexico, and it will kind of tell you what area you're in. And I guess the name of this ranch, which was huge that we were driving by, was called Middle of Nowhere Ranch. I'm like, yep, that's about right. That's it. There is nothing out there. Nothing. I don't know. I've never seen aliens. I don't, other than Elon Musk, I think that's about as close to an alien as I've seen. Mm-hmm. That man's brain, and I don't mean that in I guess that couldn't be a positive thing, but that man's brain is a whole nother level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He is honestly living like 6 people's lives at once. I don't know how he does the amount of thinking that he does in a day with all of his companies, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy.
Probably a lot of Starbucks or something.
Probably. I don't know why he doesn't own Starbucks, but all right, dash my dreams with astrophysicist over there to me.
I don't want to dash your dreams. I love UFO conspiracies. I was a member of MUFON for years. I really love it, but
that surprises me about you
because it's fascinating and it's fun. But as a scientist, I know it's fun, and that's all it is. There are no aliens in our atmosphere circling our planet, hiding in our oceans. There aren't. And it's sad. People don't want to hear that, and they will argue till the cows come home that there really are aliens. And you don't know? Well, yeah, we do know. We do. The study of the cosmos lets us know that if there were a civilized society somewhere that could reach us, we would know about them as they would know about us, and it would be kind of a thing. If you want to understand the science behind my philosophy on aliens, look up the Fermi paradox, Fermi, and look up the Drake equations. Those will tell you, because there really are astrophysicists who look for aliens. The SETI program has got a lot of funding this year. They're doing some really big things, and it's fascinating. They really are searching. Do we believe that there's life in the universe? Absolutely. Have we proven that? Not at all. We're working on it, especially with the Enceladus, some of the moons of Saturn and Jupiter. We're really looking. We're looking on Mars. There is life somewhere in the universe. Are they flying around our airspace? Nah, they're not. Look up the Fermi paradox and get familiar with the science, because the more you know of that, it does make the search even more interesting. Because when you can look at SETI and see what they're doing and be like, oh, there is some real science here where we could possibly find another civilization somewhere in our galaxy or beyond. So it's really exciting. But no, unfortunately, I don't believe there are aliens. I don't believe any of the UFOs or the UAP videos that we're going to see are alien spaceships, unfortunately. But, it is a fascinating thing, and I can't help watching it myself. I am totally hooked on this stuff.
You just failed the positivity challenge.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, unfortunately, what's sad is I think I would rather there be aliens than what this UFO crap probably is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there is stuff out there, and they're saying that it's not ours. Mm-hmm. Not ours as in being American, right, which is absolutely terrifying.
Yep.
There's a lot of weird things that happen, guys. My husband was in the military. I guess I can say that. He had a very high security clearance. My husband actually built nuclear bombs in the Air Force. He was ammo. So they talk. He has a high clearance. They talk about junk like that. And he was actually stationed in England at what was the name? Oh, we were talking about this the other day. My brain just goes empty when we get on here. That live button is on. What's the name of the forest right outside
Rendlesham.
Rendlesham? That
Rendlesham
was
Forest.
Yeah, that was where my husband was stationed for 4 years. And since he was ammo, the bomb dump or where they keep the nukes on the base is always as far away from people as they can possibly be. It's always on the far side of a base. And so there was that big forest. And there were also peacocks. This is a hilarious story. There were roaming peacocks back there in that forest. And so anytime they got a new troop that had to go down to the flight line or out to the bomb dump, they would wait till it was nighttime and they would put them in the truck and take them out there. And if you have never heard a wild peacock, they scream like little old ladies. I mean, bloody murder. It sounds like a blood curdling old lady scream, like something you have never heard before. And so they'll get out there and they'll make a noise so that it will set off the peacocks. And all of a sudden, you are hearing a screaming, bleeding old woman. And all of the people who know what's going on jump back in the truck, like, oh my God, that got us back. And then they would like drive off and leave the person. And they were like, what in the world is going on? And, that was always the way they hazed them whenever they would take them out to the flight line and have these
Oh, too
peacocks
funny.
screaming bloody murder.
Yeah,
But
there's a fascinating UFO case from the Rendlesham Air Base. So check that
mhm,
out. That's one of my favorite stories, definitely.
yeah,
But yes, I
it's
do think
definitely
it's just a story.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no telling what it is. I don't know what it is, but I think anybody that's holding their breath on major disclosure at the end of the month, isn't at the end of the month they have to produce that stuff?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't think it's coming, guys. I think you're going to get a whole lot of paper that's all redacted except for the punctuation.
Yep.
If I know our government and our military, if you've ever gotten a FOIA request, you know what I'm talking about. If they don't want you to know, all you get is the commas and the periods. That's it. They don't care to charge you by the page to send you a paper that is blanked out except for the punctuation. That's it. That's it. I don't think we're going to get some major disclosure. I think we're going to be really sad.
Yeah.
But how crazy of a year have we had where that's not even major on the news? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, the Navy disclosed aliens today. Really?
Well,
Okay.
there's a difference between an unidentified aerial phenomenon or a UFO and aliens. It means
Yeah.
that there's something flying around. They don't know what it is. That doesn't mean it's aliens. And I will pretty much guarantee you it's not aliens, sadly.
They
I know
would skip us. I mean, can you imagine if
they would.
aliens came here during COVID? They would be
Yep.
going back with spaceships full of toilet paper because they would think that was our greatest resource. Oh my God. They're mining for toilet paper. We must have it all. I think they'd skip.
Yep.
There is no help for that group of people down there. Have you seen who their leader is? I think that would have been the extent of that one.
Yeah, I think we could go for a good alien invasion right now, to be honest. But yeah, probably not happening.
I kind of, way back when Ronald Reagan made a speech and he said, what would the world look like if aliens did come and we had to, the enemy was outside of our world? What would the world look like? And that's interesting to think about
Mm,
how stuff that we fight about now really wouldn't matter in the scheme of things if there was something like that happened. It, it wouldn't be the U.S. wouldn't be all blowing up the White House, and we wouldn't call Will Smith or what's his face from Armageddon, Bruce Willis. They're probably Will Smith and Bruce Willis are not going to save us, guys. Unfortunately,
no, they're not.
unfortunately,
Oh. Yeah, we
that's
should
gonna
do
be
we should
fun.
do some videos maybe for your Patreon talking about our favorite conspiracy theory stories. I have a lot of favorites.
Oh man,
If you
you
like
know what
getting
my
into it.
favorite is.
Well, I'm not sure I want to talk about that one. That one is
Um,
gets political real quick. It gets
well,
ugly, but you know.
true. I
UFO
love a good
stuff.
9/11 one. I love a good 9/11 conspiracy. I like watching them.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know about the Yetis either. That could be a thing. I don't know.
Let's do a cryptozoology channel. Here we go.
Oh yeah. Lived in Oregon for a year. I'd believe that there's Yetis out there. I'd believe it. Bigfoot, absolutely. I don't know. What
Oh,
else? What's your favorite conspiracy, Awen?
Well, it used to be the moon landing until I went to school and realized that was not faked at all. And we could do a video where I can explain it and prove to you that it wasn't faked, which makes people sad. So I don't really want to do that. That used to be it. Certainly the 9/11, I was really big into that. But I really like the UFO stories. I love them. I don't know why. I just can't stop listening to them. I don't believe a single one of them, but I think they're fascinating.
I like the people that really think that Walt Disney is cryogenically frozen or they have his head saved somewhere else, like he's
I
going to
wouldn't
come
be
back.
surprised by that. I would not be the least bit surprised.
He's not.
Aw.
Sorry, he's not.
See, now I'm sad.
Yeah. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there about Walt Disney. There's a lot. There's a lot of weird things about Walt Disney people don't think about. Do you know in Walt Disney movies, nobody has a mom?
Yeah, I did notice that.
It's weird to go down that why he was so drawn into that thing. His mom died when he was really young, and so it's a weird kind of thing. Um, I like talking about Disney, but that's what I'll talk about on Patreon. Y'all will hear about everything Disney that I know about.
Yeah.
My goodness. Especially the food. Oh my God. I could talk about Walt Disney World food all day long. All the things that I want to eat at Walt Disney World. You said you watched a video. Who was it? Made a video about theme park food the other day.
Oh, the Try Guys. If you guys know the Try Guys channel,
Mm-hmm.
Today Keith he does all you can eat or eats the menu, a series of videos. Go to a restaurant, order everything on the menu, and try the entire thing. And today eats the menu at Knott's Berry Farm, and man, did every single thing look so good. It's like, oh, I need to go there right now and eat all that food. So yeah, it was great.
God, that would be
the
good.
funnel cakes, the long hot dogs, everything.
There's actually a theme park magazine. People don't know that. A lot of people don't know that. And they rate, different things, best roller coaster, blah, blah, blah. But they give out awards for best theme park food. Knott's Berry Farms will take it a lot of years. But Dollywood, right here in little old Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, has taken it a few times, and we're always in like the top 5, usually the top 3. So if you guys ever want to come to the Smoky Mountains, Tennessee, go to Dollywood and get yourself some food. Oh my gosh. You can get turkey legs. I know people talk about the turkey legs down in Disney World. You can get turkey legs at Dollywood too. We have them year round.
Yeah, they have them at Knott's Berry Farm now too, and it looked really good. I gotta say.
They're so good. It's weird though, walking like I'm gonna wait in line for a roller coaster with my turkey leg.
Right?
But if you come to Dollywood, go to the bakery when you first come in, the main gate, there's a bakery. And you'll know it because outside there is a witch's cauldron as big as my desk that they make kettle corn in outside, so you smell it. But there's a bakery in there and they make fudge and everything else. Order the cinnamon bread and get the icing. The cinnamon bread, it's almost like monkey bread. It's like cinnamon and sugar, and you pull it apart like that, but it's like a loaf that's smashed together. And then it comes with this little cream cheese icing stuff that you dip it in. You can't eat it without the icing. Get the icing. But if you come to Dollywood, it is worth it. Get it. And if you can't eat it because it's too dang hot for that kind of a food, get it on your way out and take it out of the park. They'll wrap it up for you. Oh my God. They also there's a 25 pound apple pie that they cook in.
Oh my God.
In a cast iron skillet, and you can buy the whole thing or you can buy a slice of it, and it is probably that thick and about that wide. Apple pie in a cast iron skillet. Oh my God, it is so good. And they have red velvet funnel cakes. That's my favorite. Anytime we go, I get a red velvet funnel cake on my way out and take that sucker home because it is so good.
Sounds like a must-have.
Yeah, I'm diabetic. This is why I'm diabetic. Sounds like what I need to be talking about. Turkey leg, however, would be keto.
Yes, turkey legs are keto. Yep. There you go.
I could eat turkey leg. None of the other stuff, though. None of the other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we haven't talked about it today. Did you eat all yours?
Oh, my popcorn, yes, it is gone. I finished it off last night.
I know it looks like a clear bag, guys, but it's green.
I even ate all the crumbs at the end of the bag because they were just so good.
The angel dust, as we call it in this house. Smart Food Krispy Kreme glazed popcorn. It is not as sugary as you think it would be. It's not as bad as you think it would be. I have a lot of chronic illness stuff, and a lot of mine is GI related. So I normally cannot eat popcorn because of the kernels. I can't process it at all. There are 0 kernels in that popcorn. It is fully popped light popcorn, and it is barely drizzled. It's not thick like caramel corn or what is that other stuff called?
It's just a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit sweeter than what do they call it? Kettle corn?
Kettle corn.
A little bit sweeter than that, but not obnoxiously so. It was really, really nice. I love it.
But if you really are craving why do I keep trying to talk about Dunkin' Donuts? A Krispy Kreme donut. This will actually fix the craving, and it is healthier than the donut.
Definitely.
This popcorn melts in your mouth like a warm Krispy Kreme donut, though. It's not bad. I can have a cup and a half of it, and it's good. It's like 16 carbs or something for a cup and a half, which is not bad. And that's a lot of popcorn, a cup and a half. That's a lot.
It doesn't qualify for keto, but it's still a better snack than having a couple of donuts for sure.
Yep. And shoot, I was like, I want some Krispy Kreme donuts. A dozen Krispy Kreme donuts will cost you $10. You can get 3 bags of that daggone popcorn for $10. So
unless you buy it on Amazon.
Unless you buy it on Amazon for $15 a bag, which I would not suggest. Awen. I found it at Walmart, at Target, and at Publix. I'm kind of curious if they sell it at Krispy Kreme. You'd think they would, but I don't know. I've got to tell you guys my funny Krispy Kreme story. So Noah is 16 now. He just had a birthday. He's the one who shares a birthday with JJ, my Noah. So when Noah was 4, my kids have a lot of grandparents. So we have always, for birthdays, asked them what they want to do as a family. We do something together, and they're allowed to pick whatever they do for dinner. If they want me to cook whatever their favorite meal is, or they want to go out, they get to pick. So we don't do birthday gifts because they get enough gifts from other family. So we always do an experience. So Noah, when he was 4, decided he wanted to go to the zoo. I'm like, okay, the zoo. We were in Goldsboro. We were stationed at Seymour Johnson in North Carolina. So as soon as you leave base, you could throw a rock and hit Krispy Kreme. It is right there. They knew what they were doing when they set that place up. And the light was on. And that light gets me every dang time. When the hot donut light is on and you don't go in there, I'm pretty sure fairies die somewhere. I'm pretty sure. So Noah's like, I want Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'm like, shoot, yeah, sounds like breakfast to me. Let's go get some Krispy Kreme donuts. So we go in there. And the way the one in Goldsboro was, you could, it is divided up between like a dining room and the kitchen. But it's divided by plate glass windows, floor to ceiling. There's no tile. There's no nothing. You can see everything. You can see the floor. You see the ceiling. You see how they make the donuts. And it's the first time Noah had ever been inside. We normally just do the drive-through or something because we know better than taking. If Noah was 4, Elijah was 2.5, and Xander would have been 6. We knew better than taking 3 kids those ages inside Dunkin' Donuts. So we take him in there. Noah goes in and stops like we have walked in the front gate of Disney World. Mouth hanging open. The angel were probably singing in that baby's head. He looks over and he sees them making the donuts. And when you go in on the right, all you see is the conveyor belt where they glaze them. Noah goes, sticks both hands up to the glass, shoves his face on it, and just kind of slides himself down. And he said, I know what I want for my birthday, Mom. And he wasn't paying any attention. I was laughing at him. I said, what do you want for your birthday, Noah? We're going to the zoo. He said, we don't have to go to the zoo. I said, really? What do you want to do besides to go to the zoo? He said, can they just put me on that conveyor belt and send me through the glaze? And everybody in that place heard him and died laughing.
Right?
I mean, died. So every time we go by Krispy Kreme, I'll look at my husband and I'll say, can I just go down the conveyor belt? It's one of those days. It's one of those days. You just send me down the conveyor belt, Mom.
Mm-hmm. I'll be just fine. Yep.
That's Noah for you. Noah has, I could write a book on Noah stories. He is the funniest kid I have ever seen in my life. I mean, my grandma was hilarious. My mom is funny. I think I'm semi-funny. Noah is hilarious. I tell him he got his sense of humor from his dad, and he said, why is that? I said, because I still got mine. That kid is something else.
Yeah, I would go down that conveyor belt myself. That sounds like a fun day.
Yeah, it does. What was that show that used to be on TV when I was younger? Double Dare? Do you remember that on Nickelodeon?
No.
It was weird. There was always like you answered questions or you took this Double Dare challenge, and it was like the green gack and the splat and like big pools of pudding and whipped cream. It was always just gross, kind of get messy stuff. And I'm like, that would have been Noah's dream right there. The Krispy Kreme donut glaze. He would have taken that Double Dare. I'm telling you. I don't remember. The announcer on that show's name was Mark Summers. Is that what it was? Something like that. It was on Nickelodeon back in the 90s. My little brothers watched it a lot. But if they had a Krispy Kreme glazer, Noah would have been there. That would have been Noah. That kid. He is something else. He just got his first job, and he's driving me nuts. It's driving me crazy about it. But anyway. Well, guys, we've been doing this over an hour, and now I want some Krispy Kreme donuts. I'll probably eat my popcorn.
I've been trying to
set up the Patreon.
My husband came home with dinner in the middle of our live.
So what did Dave bring us? I bet it ain't.
We have just some typical Texas fried chicken, a little mashed potato. So I haven't eaten like all day, so I'm starving.
There is no such thing as just typical fried chicken.
What? It's your average fried chicken. It's nothing to write home about. But
you know who has the best fried chicken?
Who?
I have a fried chicken story.
Okay.
My stepmom's parents were Colonel and Claudia Sanders' best friends. They grew up. Okay, if y'all don't know Kentucky, I'm from Kentucky. There's this little bitty town called Shelbyville, Kentucky. And in Shelbyville, Kentucky, you can look it up because it's still open, and it's my favorite chicken ever. Claudia Sanders is who taught Colonel everything he knew about KFC. She gave him the recipe that launched KFC. But Claudia has a humongous, well, she's dead now, but has the Claudia Sanders dinner house. It's an old plantation style, humongous brick monster of a house with big white pillars out front. You can't wrap your arms around. They're so big. And you go in there, and it's extremely upscale. White tablecloth, crystal chandeliers, the whole shebang. And you go in and you order by the table. They count by how many people are at your table. Everything comes out on a tray, on a silver tray in platters. Ooh. And it gets passed around the table. Nothing is plated. And there's like 15 to 20 different like side dishes. If you name it, they have it. And any kind of chicken, however you want it made, whatever. That is hands down the best fried chicken I've ever had in my life. It's at Claudia Sanders Dinner House in Shelbyville, Kentucky. If you have to drive up through there, it is 5 minutes off of 75. Is it 75 or 65 that goes up through there? I don't remember now. But if you were driving somewhere between Atlanta and New York and are going up the interstate, it's 5 minutes off of the interstate in Shelbyville. It's at the second Shelbyville exit if you're going north. There are signs. You can probably smell it from the daggone interstate. It is the best chicken ever. But anyway, my grandparents were Colonel and Claudia Sanders' best friends. And when Colonel died, Paul Thompson was the pallbearer at his funeral. And Claudia gave them one of his suits. We have one of his white suits with this little bitty black shoestring of a bow tie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They like to tell stories about Claudia and Colonel Sanders. They say Claudia was really funny. So that's interesting.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's interesting. The first time I found it, I found that suit and I'm like, my goodness. I bugged my dad. My dad collects different types of suits. He was in the Navy. He's a big military buff, and so he has like Confederate stuff. He used to do those Confederacy reenactments. I swear, in the South, they think if they reenact that, one of these times we are going to rise up and win the damn thing. I'm telling you, that's why they keep doing it. But my dad collects that kind of stuff, and I was looking through the closet for something, and I saw that suit, and I was like, "My goodness, Dad, what are you doing with a Colonel Sanders suit?" And he said, "That is Colonel Sanders' suit," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, it's Colonel Sanders' suit." I'm like, "Are you serious?" And he's like, "Yeah." And sure enough, it has a thing in the back where a normal tag would be that's signed, and it said something about this suit was made by so and so specifically for, and it says Colonel Sanders in it. It's so weird.
That's cool.
I've physically seen Colonel Sanders' suit. It probably smells like chicken.
Probably.
Maybe. But anyway, that's all my random stories of the day. I didn't want to leave on a bad one, so we talked about Noah's Krispy Kreme and best chicken in Kentucky, not Texas.
Yeah.
So if y'all go to Kentucky, go try Claudia Sanders' Dinner House. It is so good.
Sounds good to me.
So good.
I'm thinking it's almost time for a road trip.
Yeah.
Gotta do these things.
We got to go pick up Paul.
Yep, going to food tour of the country.
Oh, man. We need an RV.
We're going to have to take his RV by the time we're done. We're not going to fit in any car.
I have a new show, Eating Across America. Well, they wouldn't. I want one of those retro. What is the brand of the RVs? The real shiny bullet. Yeah, I want one of them.
Yeah.
Aqua blue. We need to pin up like an airplane on the side of that sucker.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yep.
That would be fun. Eating Across America.
Yeah.
Geez, we'd weigh 700 pounds by the time we got to the end. We'd have to go see that
Dr. Now.
Dr. Now. So he could tell us, you need to lose weight.
Yes, we do.
Bless you guys. All right, that's all I've got. So, thanks for spending your Saturday night with us. I hope we weren't too boring. Next week, I'll have more of an outline going on. This week was crazy, guys. Nothing that I planned on my planner was done. Nothing. Absolutely not. I had this week planned out so well, and it all just went out the window when I got up every day. I dealt with the DMV, a Social Security office, 4 days this week, doctor's office. It was ridiculous. But anyway, so we're going to get out of here, and I will talk to you guys later. Anything you want to say on the way out?
Just good night, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.